Hello everyone. Today we shall look at some of the topics covered in the first day of the AWS FTP. The contents we'll be covering are what is AWS, cloud and cloud computing, and finally how to launch a Linux instance on macOS. So, what is AWS? Amazon Web Services or AWS is a subsidiary of Amazon that provides on demand cloud computing platforms and APIs to individuals, companies, and governments on a metered pay as you go basis. It offers over 200 fully featured services from data centers globally. I've been throwing this word cloud around for a while now. What exactly does a cloud mean? The cloud is a term used to describe a global network of servers, each with a unique function. The cloud is not a physical entity but instead is a vast network of remote servers around the globe which are hooked together and meant to operate as a single ecosystem. These servers are designed to either store and manage data, run applications, or deliver services. Extending the same information, we get cloud computing. Cloud computing is the on demand delivery of IT services over the internet with pay as you go pricing. Instead of buying, owning, and maintaining physical data centers and servers, you can access technology services such as computing power, storage, and databases on an as needed basis from a cloud provider. Now, for the final part, launching an instance. Although this was not covered in the AWS FTP, I have included it nonetheless. As not everyone has Windows or Linux, Mac users should also know how to launch an instance. Let's get started. To launch an instance, first go to the aws.amazon.com and sign in to your AWS account. If you need to, create a new account. I have mine already logged in here. Once you sign in, you will be taken to the console home, which is displayed on my screen. Under Services, select Compute and click on EC2. You'll be redirected to the instances page. On the bottom left, you'll notice a yellow button that says Launch Instance. Click on it to be redirected to the Launch Instances wizard. First, we need to give our instance a name. For this demo, I'll be using Linux Instance Demo for the sake of this video. Next, we need to select the OS we will be launching. Amazon Linux is already pre-selected by default. There are other OSs available which you will be able to see here. And next we have to choose the Amazon machine image or an AMI. A free tier eligible one is already selected by default. You can choose the other ones, but you will have to pay for it. Next we have to choose an instance type. T2.micro, which is a free tier eligible one, is already selected, which by default. There are over 400 instance types available within AWS. Finally, we need to create a key pair. This will be what you'll be using to connect your instance. Click on Create a new key pair. Enter a name. I'll be using Demo Launcher. And make sure you have RSA selected under key pair type and .pem under private key file format. Click on Create Key Pair. You'll find a download window like this that opens up. While saving your key pair, make sure you have it in a handy location such as desktop. You'll need it to access it very quickly when you're using terminal. Click on Save. Under Network Services, Network Settings, make sure you have Allow HTTPS traffic and Allow HTTP traffic for added security. And as usual, you won't need to change anything under Configure Storage. Go ahead and click Launch Instance. And there you have it. Our instance has been successfully launched. Go back to the instances page where you'll be able to see the instance name and the instance state is currently pending. If you leave it to run for a few minutes, you'll see that the status changes to running. We'll have to wait till AWS finishes the status checks. As you can see, it's still initializing. Once AWS has performed all the status checks, you'll see ticks like this saying that the checks have passed. Now, first things first, make sure you have OpenSSH downloaded and installed on your device. You'll be accessing your instance through this connectivity tool. Now, open terminal and enter the following command: chmod 400. Give a space and drag in your pemkey file into the terminal. This will print the directory for the file. Click enter and this command will modify the pemkey permission, which will enable you to access your instance. Next, type in the following command: ssh-i, give a space and once again drag in your pemkey file and ec2-user at. Now go back to the AWS instance page, select your instance and copy this public IPv4 DNS. Paste it in the terminal and hit enter. And there you can see it that I am able to access my instance. Since this is a second time that I am doing it, it happened quite directly. If you're doing it for the first time, you will be prompted with the question whether you want to connect with the instance. Type in yes and click enter to connect with your instance. You can do pretty much anything here. You can install a web server, you can even run Linux networking commands. For example, if I type in host name, it no longer shows my MacBook's original name. It is showing the host name that was assigned to the instance by AWS. If I were to run pingc3 google.com, our instance will ping Google thrice with 3 bits of data. If I run IP route, the routing table for the instance will be displayed. Finally, if you want to end the interaction with your instance, you can either type exit or log out. So there you have it. You have successfully launched an instance and interacted with it via the terminal. Thank you for watching.